Hey friends, it's Daphne, and this is part 58, my personal flat earth experience. And some people are going to say that this isn't related. I find that it is. I find that all things are related, but particularly these things. I've been thinking a lot lately about the trannies, the transvestigations, all of this stuff that has come out while we've all been in the rabbit hole, the secret trannies, just all of it. And I have a couple theories. I know that some people aren't going to agree. That's okay. I'm making this video for myself and for Sunny Peaches and for all of the other real women out there who have been truly offended. I watched a video today made by Sunny Peaches, and it made me laugh, made me cry. This is what good videos do, in case nobody knows. But she expressed her concern and her outrage for having her gender questioned, for having to defend her gender, for having to get on the internet and show people her stretch marks, to get on the internet and consider just stripping down to prove her gender, considering putting up footage of her baby emerging from her vagina to prove that she is a true woman. This is when I realize that the agenda, the trans agenda is a real thing, it's a real problem, and now I'm seeing those that it's affecting. I'm one of them, but it hasn't affected me quite as much as Sunny Peaches. And today, when we talked on the phone, I could hear it in her voice that this was just the most offensive thing that anybody could ever think of her, that she's not a woman. And I think that this is how everybody feels that's right in the head. And what I mean by that is that a man, a true man, is going to be completely and utterly, totally fucking offended if someone thought that he was actually a woman. That's the way it works. And it's the same thing for women. A real woman is going to get totally and truly, utterly offended if someone thinks that she's not a real woman. Now, I've come up with a little analogy to try to help explain this to people, and this is one of my many attempts to reach people, to bring you back down to flat earth, to bring you back to reality. I have made countless videos about trannies, transvestigations. I've touched on all of it, and people that don't know how to think for themselves, people that live in front of their TV and think anything goes, they get mad at me. They get so fucking mad at me because they're not with it. They're not understanding that there are two genders. And I want this to come out clear as possible. This is not hate speech. I'm just talking the truth, okay? I don't hate gay people. This actually has absolutely nothing to do with gay people. When people get on my page and they're like, you hate gay people, you're homophobic. Like, I'm talking about people pretending to be a completely different gender. I'm not talking about people of the same gender doing anything hardly even related, actually. I'm talking about men dressing as women, women trying to be men, that sort of thing. I'm not talking about gay people. I'm talking about trannies, transvestites, transgenders, transsexuals, the whole lot. You can call them whatever you want. You can think they're separate categories and that tranny doesn't mean all of them, but they're all one thing, and it's called autogynephilia. And I've been researching it because this tranny thing has kind of been bothering me since this whole flat earth thing started, and I know people are going to say they're not related, but trust me. It's all coming out at the same time. We're all realizing that Madonna is a man. We're all realizing that when we pick up magazines like this, that the majority of the people in here are not actually women, that they're men. This is fraud. This is total fraud. And so the little analogy I've come up with for you today, it might make you laugh, it might piss you off. I know a lot of people get really angry when I do things with vegetables. That's what I have around. That's what I use to do things. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about an intact carrot, a pretend carrot, a sad, lonely, distraught, offended carrot that has been stripped of everything that really makes them a carrot. And a whole celery, a whole happy celery and a whole happy carrot. See that? Now, how this works is you're going to imagine a pot of potato soup cooking, bubbling. And in that pot, there are onions and spices and seasonings and salt and pepper and potatoes, and it's all cooking together, and it smells really delicious. But potato soup is not potato soup because of potatoes. Potato soup is potato soup because of carrots and celery. But the carrots and celery have to be carrots and celery. You can't just say we're gonna put in these and this'll be enough. You can't just say we'll put in these and that this will be enough. We need whole carrot, we need whole celery. And they have to do their individual jobs as carrot and celery. And when they get lost and sad and confused and they think that they want to be something that they're not capable of doing their own job as to what they are, and their own job as to what they are doesn't get avoided, doesn't get bypassed. It is what it is, because even after this gets chopped up and put into the stew, it's still celery. It's still doing celery's job. Now, the next thing I'm going to say is going to piss off even more people. That's okay, because that's why I'm here. I'd like to talk about men and women and the actual nature of reproduction. We're going to be getting into this deeper into my channel. I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer in here. I don't even know why I have to, but I get like 10 emails a week, people telling me how disappointed they are in my content, that I cuss, that I say the F word. They're so mad that they can't show my videos to children. My videos aren't for children. My channel isn't for children. Do you also call up the alcohol companies and say, you should make something that my toddler can drink? Do you also call up the automobile companies and tell them, I'm so mad that my 14-year-old kid can't drive your Big Mac truck? My videos aren't for children. This video isn't for children. It's for adults. Adults only. Now, we're going to talk about the nature of reproduction. Most people don't understand this. Most people haven't thought of it. But it is something that it just utterly consumes me. And I would talk about why it consumes me, but that's for a totally different video. We're just going to talk about what I've learned over the course of why it has consumed me. Women are the carriers of the mitochondrial DNA that we as humans pass along. That's right. It is women. It is women that we are reproducing, not men. We need men, where they aren't the ones that we're reproducing. Men cannot be physically reproduced. .gov science, scientism, would probably disagree with this, as I believe that they think that it is men's mitochondria that we pass along. But by the end of this video, I hope that you'll understand that is absolutely not true, that it cannot be true, and that it is only women that are being reproduced. When a man looks at a woman, it is involuntary that he judge her based on her outward appearance. That's just the way it is. Why is it this way? And people want to know. People want to know why it is when a woman looks at a man. She kind of wonders if it's possible, if he's financially stable enough to support some children. That's what they do. Now, why is that what they do? Let's talk about it. Since we are reproducing women's mitochondria and not men's, it is men who are the deciders of the mitochondria that does get to be passed along. It is men who get to look at women as though they are vegetables and as though they are seeds for saving and to choose which ones to use. That's the way it is. Now, since we're reproducing women and we're not reproducing men, the man has a job. He's passing along his consciousness capability. He's passing along his intelligence. So it is only natural for a woman to look at him and think, is he moral? Would he raise a child correctly? Is he smart? Is he funny? Is he an upstanding individual that goes to work or has a job or a business and can support a family? Because that's his job. Now, with women, wombs, you have to understand that it is up to them to judge men's consciousness and decide which ones they want to reproduce. Because that's how it works. I know this is going to piss off a lot of people. I just know it is. I can't help it. It's the way that it is. But hear me loud and clear when I tell you this. That I don't consider myself a feminist. I don't consider myself anything. Actually, probably, if anything, I would be considered more of a men's rights activist, since I'm completely against circumcision, and that encompasses a huge portion of my time. That's also for another video. What we're talking about here is whole women and not whole men. It's really kind of sad that a man, the celery, would want to pretend to be something that it isn't. And when it goes on to do this, the job that it's supposed to be doing can't be avoided, can't be completely finished, and the whole thing is really sad. The gender swapping, the division between the genders, this is terribly sad. And I can't wait for more videos like Sunny Peaches to come out, because this is a serious topic. This is so... I know that there's a lot of people that think that appropriation is a racial thing, that Halloween is racist, that costumes aren't cultures. The real appropriation is gender. Because nobody has ever walked up to a black man and said, "Huh, you're one of them pretend black men, ain't ya? You painted your face, didn't ya? That's not your real hair, is it?" No, that's never happened, nor would that really truly offend him. But what would offend him is someone coming up to him and saying, "You probably were born with a vagina." Now, modern feminism would have you believe that men being offended by being considered gay or not truly men is actually them hating women. They would consider this misogyny. But they don't consider it for themselves misogyny, or what it would be, misandry, when a man when a man looks at them and wonders, are you a true woman? If you are a woman, or if you are a man, you're going to be truly offended if someone assumes that you're a gender that you're not. Simple as that. And so when people that want to go out into the world and live as a different gender get mad that somebody assumes their gender, that's what you're doing to the rest of us. You're putting that on us. You're making people, wonderful women and mothers like Sunny Peaches, have to spend time out of their fucking day to get on the camera and explain, I got stretch marks, I got a vagina, this is where my ovaries are, these are my titties. Nobody of any race has had to get on a camera and say, this is my true race because of X, Y, and Z, and I'm sick of people thinking I'm a different race. Like, it's all about the genders. And it's been happening with straight men for much longer than it has been happening with women, because this whole transvestigation thing is pretty new, and women haven't had their femininity squashed into the ground quite like men have had their masculinity squashed into the ground. Now, I had my husband tell me, with tears in his eyes, that he feels that he's just not able in this world to be as masculine as he truly would like to be. He feels that it's been completely stripped from him. He has no capability of doing it, and that those things and those traits aren't even accepted. That he feels like he has to be more feminine just to even exist in this world. And now women are getting a taste of what that's like, to have their femininity questioned. Men don't want to have to be considered gay. They don't want to be afraid of being considered gay if they're straight. They just don't. I made my uncle this bracelet. Oh my god. It was a really pretty bracelet. It was amber beads that had like flies encapsulated in it. It was a really expensive bracelet, and the beads were about, I think, maybe like 10 millimeters. And he said he liked it at first, but when I saw him again later, he wasn't wearing it. And I was like, hey, Uncle Mike, why aren't you wearing the bracelet? And he was like, well, the beads were a little big, and it was just, I didn't want people to think that I'm gay. I didn't want people to think he's gay because he's straight. People thinking that he is anywhere near feminine would be offensive to him. So for any women like that are out there right now that are offended at this tranny inaccurate tranny accusations, I feel ya. I feel ya. And so does Sunny Peaches. Go see her video. I'll put that in the description. It's one of the whole reasons I'm making this video. But I'm putting it together not because it's coming out at the same time, but also I'm putting it together with Flat Earth because it's truly the same thing. Like, it's, when you open this magazine up and you, let me find a good lineup of women here. You find, like, these pictures of people and you're wondering, you know, like, are they really women or not? You have to question that now. It's very similar to when you look at this. You gotta question this now. You gotta question this. This isn't where you live. And there are no trannies on Flat Earth because it's not possible to change your gender. We're passing on women's mitochondria, not men's. And if you're an autogynephilia and you get off on pretending to be a woman during sex, cool. Do that. Do that in your fucking bedroom. When you come down to the DMV and expect to be treated like a woman, that's where the line gets drawn. That's where it's not acceptable. That's where it pisses me off. Let's compare this to women. Let's just do an analogy. Let's just compare this. Since I'm deeply involved in sex education and deeply involved in adult sex, hetero sex, we're going to talk about this. There are a group of women out there that have a fetish that revolves around them pretending to be pregnant. Happens in the bedroom. Now, if they decide that their fetish to pretend to be pregnant is something that they want to carry on into their daily life, that's where I have a problem. Because the second they go down to the WIC office to get some food stamps and to get some nutritional supplements for a baby they're not actually growing because they're sexually getting off on it, that's where the line is drawn. So, you can dress and drag in your bedroom, you can dress and drag in your living room, you can even dress and drag in your street. Don't be coming to me and asking me to pretend along with you that you are a woman. You are not. If you had a friend come to your house, and you had a big fake gold grill and a big fake gold necklace, and you had gone down to the local junkyard and ripped off a Mercedes emblem and duct taped it to his old Ford and drove up to your house and he said to you, listen, I'm Snoopgrass, and you're gonna call me Snoopgrass. I'm not really rich, but I'm gonna pretend to be rich, and you better uphold that for me. Don't remind me that I'm on food stamps. Don't remind me that I don't have money to actually go to the dentist. Don't remind me that this gold grill I'm wearing is actually not really gold. Uphold my illusion for me, because that's what gets me off sexually. Would you tolerate that? Or would you try to bring them back to reality? Because I'm trying to bring you back to reality. Because when a man strips down a woman's clothes and puts them on, it's exactly what happened here with this carrot and this piece of celery. When that happens, the carrot gets stripped down, the woman gets stripped down of everything that makes her a woman, that's where it's a problem. So you can do this in your bedroom, but when you take it to the streets, this is what happens. I'm going to quote Ted. There are no chicks with dicks. There are only men with tits. Thank you so much for tuning in.